Why would anybody in their right mind, one, buy a $30,000 control surface, and two, sell a $30,000 control surface? The answer is simple. Think of color grading as a Formula One race. Every millisecond counts. Every single second that I shave off from the grunt work, I'm talking about shot matching, setting up my project, conforming, and the list goes on. Every single second that I shave off from there, I get to spend making art. The thing that makes me irreplaceable. The thing that makes my client keep coming back to me. So in this video, I want to take you through my 8 favorite features that I absolutely cannot live without and that have supercharged my color grading workflow with this advanced panel. And you know what doesn't cost $30,000? Qt charts. It is the best utility available for Resolve. Whether you want to set your exposure using false color or you want to match your shots at blazing fast speeds by using our sat false color, this tool got you covered. Skin hue indicator makes matching skin tones a breeze. Struggling to get those crispy clean whites? Highlight neutrals can help you get there within seconds. This is just scratching the surface, guys. Click the special link in the description to download the free version if you want to play around. And I promise you, anybody that has given it a shot, came back, bought it instantly, and you will do the same. Check out the link, and on that note, let's roll the intro. All right, so the features that I'm going to take you through, they're not going to be in any specific order, but they're all my favorite because I use them literally all the time. So first of all, I want to start with the one that you guys asked about the most, which is this little lever right here that makes you feel like you're flying a spaceship or a plane or something. And to activate it, you have to click on Ref On. Right now I'm under Ex Machina. So that's the still that I'm grabbing. Usually it will look like this. So this will help us do the wipe on and off. So this is off, this is on. Now the one quirk that this lever has is this right here. You see it doesn't fill it up. And I thought that was a software bug when I first got the panel, but it's actually a hardware thing. And I don't think it's specific to mine. I think all of them just do that. So that's like a little just quirk, a little annoying, but once you get used to it, you can get around it. So now let's just say if I want to match skin to skin and I come here and I go, oh man, like what can I do here? So this little handy button, you can just hit ref invert and you can just do that. And most of the time you can get lucky and this could work. Now we're really, really close skin to skin. So we can just make it match and get it pretty close. Another thing that we can do is if I hit sizing, this right here, this LCD panel is everything, okay? So this is giving me access to the reference, which is to the left. This is giving me access to the actual image that I am working on, which is input. So if I take my reference and if I start panning it to the left, now I can easily just use my lever, move it over, and just keep working. With this panel, what you get is the time that will be saved here will be spent making actual art at the end. Because the stuff that people don't really see when they see a final before and after, and they're like, oh my God, either it's amazing or it sucks. What they don't really see is like all the grunt work that happens on the back end. So tools like this help you just reduce the amount of time that you will take if you're just right clicking and going through contextual menu or up here going through any of this or memorizing all the different keystrokes. It's all right here, single click, on and off, use reference still, move it around, use your knobs right here, bring it over here, use your lever, keep it somewhere around here, match them, move on to the next shot, you're good to go. So genuinely one of those features that I use 40 times every 5 minutes. Lightbox View is this right here. So if I just hit this key right here, it takes me into this view, which is perfection. Because if I've graded an entire music video and I want to just check out the vibe, like what does it feel like when I see it as a whole, I can just click on this guy right here, Lightbox. It brings me right here. And then I can just hop around. And if I need to fix something or if I find something that's not looking right, I can click right here. And then I just go straight into that shot. Another massive thing about this is that if I click right here, Now we can filter through all of these different options. So I have broken up this music video into a bunch of different groups. So I can just go into my office right here, click on this shot, and just boom. Now I'm working on my office shots, and then once I'm done, and that's exactly what I did here. So I just went through each location, and then I just went here, I worked on this entire sequence, I came out and I was like, all right, time to go to night bike, and then I went here, worked on this entire sequence, then came out. You can also do things like, hey, how many shots in the entire piece are tracked? And you can just click on that and it will use smart filters and take you there. Or you can see, hey, did I use magic mask on which specific shots? So like if I go back here and if I just go to office, then I can come out of here, I can make this big, and I can just really get a vibe for the look that I'm going for. One of those that like my hand sits right here and it just goes bam, 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 bam. Like I'm always in there, extremely useful, and just one of those that you cannot live without. All right, node selector is one of those things that when you don't have it, you don't really think about it. But once you start using it, you go, how does anybody operate without this operation? So let's just say if I want to go to this node right here, 21, and I want to make specific changes to my saturation control, I can just type in 21 and select node. Boom, we go right there. And now I'm just like, I want to go to my exposure balance and made some changes. I can just hit 4 and bam, I'm right there. I'm in my exposure balance. I'm just flying through. I'm going from shot to shot. So I'm like, now on this shot, and I go, oh, I need to work on my window here. Okay, 16. Type that in. I'm in vignette. Like, let's just go to window. Let's see what's going on. Let's make it bigger. Let's move it around. And now we can just bring her up a little bit and keep it right here. And boom, we're done. Or moving on to our filter, we can just click right here, go to filter. Hey, do I want to turn this on and off and see what it's doing? And it's just like that. I can just fly through. The name of the game is that I don't want to take my hand off my panel and then go click and then go back to the panel. I just want to be like, okay, I want to make some changes here. And see what's going on. I can just bring this down a little bit. Now what? Now I want to go to 18. Okay, let's go here. Let's pull this down a little bit. Boom. Now you're seeing like how fast we're flying through. Like click, 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 click. We're just jumping through. We're making adjustments. We're blasting through it. All right, this seems pretty insignificant because they came out with a keyboard that gives you that option. But trust me, on a mini panel and any other control surface, you don't have this option, and it is absolutely a game changer. And of course, I'm talking about the shuttle wheel right here. And the feel of it is just out of this world. I mean, just like look at it. Just feel this out. Like how good this is. And most of the time, I'm never ever playing the play button. I'm just always here doing this. I'll either be doing this or I'm going to be doing these two, right? So like previous frame and then next frame. And then I'll just like find whatever it is that I want to make adjustments to and then done. But this right here, the shuttle wheel, I mean, come on. Like, look at this. Buttery smooth. All right, so grabbing your stills is super, super easy. And I'm going to show you how. So let's just say if we want to create a new still page, all I have to do is just hit page right here. And then it creates a new stills gallery. And then here I can just hit grab still and save a single frame. Or if I want to grab every single thing from, let's just say, let's go back to Lightbox. And right now we are inside Office. So if I want to just grab everything from here, but I want to grab like a middle frame, because usually the first frame could be black, but middle frame will always represent your shot the best. So if I want to do that, I'll just do this little guy, which is basically shift down and shift up. So this is like shift down, and now I can just hit grab still, and you can see underneath it just says middle. So now it's going to grab middle, but it's going to grab all of these stills that are right here in this group. And if I just hit this, you'll see, bam, done. Now, if I go ahead and delete this, go back to my Lightbox, now you're seeing like how Lightbox is being used, right? And now if I'm here and I want to grab the middle frame from everything because I want to just send that to my client and have them look at it, give me some feedback, I can just click this again and then hit grab still and boom, just like bam, bam. 2 clicks, it's going to go ahead and it's going to do its magic. It's going to spit out everything. Now I can easily grab this, right click and say export, done. once you learn about ripple select, you cannot live without this feature, okay? I've mentioned it in passing in some of my videos, but the idea behind ripple select is that I'm using a fixed node tree, right? So like if I go from this shot to this shot, they all have the same exact node tree, okay? So what does that mean? That means in here, if I just do this, and then I go to this shot, I'm still on the same node, and then I can make that change. Or even better, I can just copy this change and then go to this shot, and I can paste this change, and I can go to this shot and I can paste this change, and I can go to these 3 shots and I can paste this change, right? But then see, it doesn't come through on these shots. But what if I want to apply this change to all my office shots? So I can go back here, I can go in my Lightbox view and just select office, come back out, and that's the look that I'm going for all my office shots. Let's just simplify it. So let's just do this, and then I'm gonna copy paste this. Let's just do it the right way, how I would usually do it. So let's just say on this shot, I go, man, I just like am really loving this look, this Blade Runner look. I'm gonna apply it to everything. Now I can just click right here and then Command A, select everything, and just hit this one button that says Ripple Select. And as soon as I hit it, look what happens. Boom, done. Just one click. What did it just do? It left every single thing alone that was specific and unique to that particular shot when I was grading it, and it only applied this change and rippled it to everything that I selected, just this change. And now, if I just come here and I say, let's reset this, I change my mind and I select everything again and I just do ripple select, bam. And it just like got rid of everything. And if we just jumped around, you can see. And you're seeing it's not overriding any other data because see, this one has tracking and none of the other ones have tracking. So it's not like copy pasting the entire grade. We're just copying and pasting that one last change that we made. Usually you have to do this. So like if I go back and do this, and then I have to select all the shots, you have to go under color, you have to come down to ripple node changes to selected clips, and you have to click, and now it's going to do the same thing. Okay? So that's too many steps. I can live without this. I can live without Lightbox. I can live without many different things. Ripple select, and how often I use it, literally worth every single penny getting this panel. So this is silly, but because, you know, on the mini panel, you can do it. You have to hit offset key and then use your third wheel, which becomes offset, but still it's not the same. It's just one extra step. Whereas here, I don't have that. So I go to this shot and I just start using this fourth wheel as an offset. And trust me, like I love it very much. And now if I just go here in HDR palette, then it just works like my HDR offset. So now if I go here and I just do this, and now this is actually working as if I'm changing the f-stop in my camera. And this is a beautiful effect that I created using my offset. So that is different than these 3 primary wheels that I have: lift, gamma, gain, offset. Again, going back to the entire ideology of just like shaving off that extra second. And this makes all the difference in the world. So having this right here, making that change, okay, I'm happy with it. I select all these other shots, I ripple select, and now we have the change that I made here applied to everything else. And you're starting to see the magic of all these tools coming together. See, and now I can see the entire vibe. Okay, this is looking pretty good. I like what I'm doing here. This is all coming together. Let's go back and let's reset this. And then let's select everything, ripple that, and now we're back out of it. And another huge use of this wheel right here is if I'm in here, right? And I want to go under hue versus hue. And I just want to select this guy right here. And I want to make some changes to it. If I click on this global offset, now it can let me mess around with what's happening here. So just watch this. I'm going to use the trackball and I'm moving it around. And I can just come right here. And now I can just raise it up or I can bring it down. I mean, guys, I'm telling you, like this right here. And it just like helps you make such nuanced changes. I mean, you're seeing what I'm doing, right? And it's just magic. It's just magic. I mean, one of the things that I didn't even mention or wasn't even going to mention is that having this keyboard. Like, Trust me, when I didn't have this keyboard and you have to put a keyboard here, it's just never the same. It's either too low or it just doesn't fit right, all those things. With this guy right here, that's another thing. It's just like, it's such a complete package, well thought out. Whoever came up with this, 5 stars all day long, okay? And just look at it, what I just did right here. So now I can just go ahead and create a new point. Another thing that I can do is this. Watch this. So if I use this wheel, like, look at how I'm going through these points. So my wheel becomes like which point I want to grab. Like, look at this. And then I can just use the trackball to control that. And then I can just go back and select this and then boom. How much or how little I want this. Same thing goes with any of your curves right here. You can just use this and get finer control over all your different controls. It gets used all the freaking time this way. And then as soon as you come out of it, we go in our HDR palette. And now we're back to using it as our global offset. So super versatile, cannot live without it. And then finally, I want to talk about the most important thing. So let's just say if we are using my QT look DNA, okay? And we have all these parameters. Oh my God, all of these. And I just go, dude, it just is really annoying going through every single one right here. Is there a way to do it here? Yes, there is. All you have to do is just click this button right here that says FX. And as soon as I hit this, just look at this panel right here. Boom. OpenFX DCTL, OpenFX DCTL. All these screens just became everything that's here. And now I can just simply go, I want to go in my mid Y and I want to do this. And you can see the change happening right there. And then I can go, you know what? I want to take my highlight and I want to just like crank it up a little bit. I want to give it like a really fun look, like something like this. And now I'm doing before and after. What do I want to do with my midtone? Or undertones, like, do I want to bring it up? Yeah, I do a little bit. And then I can go in my mid contrast and just keep cranking it. And then what do I want to do with my highlights? I want to kind of keep my highlights clean. So I'm just going to go in my red and raise it up a little bit. Green, pull it down. And this is starting to look really, really good. And I was able to just make all of these changes, pretty aggressive changes, all right here. This would have been just a lot harder to like, go right here and then look right here and then go back and then do this and then see what you're doing. So you just saw like how we were able to do that by using this screen right here. Not to mention, even like these features right here are showing up down here in these buttons. So now I can go, hey, show me my curve like what I'm doing. So now I can just see what's happening on my curve. Bypass the curve adjustments that I'm making, right? I can do gang or ungang these curves, right? And now what we can do is, let's just say that I add some bleach bypass right here. I can go and I can bypass that bleach bypass effect. And you can see what I'm doing right here. So like all these controls. So we are utilizing every single thing here, okay? Crazy. Like there's so many sliders. All of these are being controlled right here. And then all the toggles on and off are right here. So using DCTLs with a panel like this, or anything that's like an advanced or effects that has a lot of parameters, this just makes it a breeze. I mean, we can try the same thing with anything else, right? So let's just say if I come to grain right here, and now I have my custom grain. I mean, look at what's happening. It's dynamic. It's switching to the next thing. So now I can come in here and actually first thing that I want to do is I want to turn off show curves. And now I want to go back here. So, okay, I want to add more texture. Let's actually go and have fun with this. So I want to increase the grain size. And then I want to mess with the texture. So something like that. And I want to add more strength to the film grain. And look at how smooth this operation is. Like I'm just going in there and I'm just playing with it. And I'm just like seeing and getting the real-time feedback. And that makes all the difference in the world. And I can just play it through, or even better, I can just use my shuttle wheel and see what it looks like. I mean, it's looking pretty good, not gonna lie. And then I can just go in and be like, what is a little bit on the nose? So maybe texture. So let's just go back into texture, do something like that. How is this feeling? I think the grain strength is getting a bit too crazy. Okay, let's pull back. How are we looking now? What about the grain size? I think I like the chunky grain. And then like something like this. Now this is starting to look pretty good. And you see, like, I'm not doing anything here because when you lift your eyes from the main image and you go here, then it's very tricky. Like when you're moving these things, like you're not necessarily in full control. Whereas here I'm immersed. I'm just making art. I'm focusing on like what needs to happen and thinking about like what I want to do and boom, just do it. Done and done and done, right? We can even click on grain only. Like what are we really doing? Like if we actually want to make some changes, make the grain softer, we can do something like that. What about the strength? Okay, pull it back. What about the grain size? Maybe something like this. And then what about the texture? Texture, I like something like that. Good, good, good. Come out of our grain only. That was super helpful because that just took out all the variables, like how we're seeing contrast changes, color changes, all of that effects. So it just gave us like a completely different perspective. And that's what I mean. If I'm right here, what am I doing? I'm just going to be figuring out like, oh, what does this button do? What does that button do? And it's just too much is happening. Whereas like here, boom, my focus is right here. And like, look at the changes that we made just using our knobs right here and these dynamic LCD panel. So this is like my top 8 favorite things about this panel that I use all day, every day. I'm probably missing about 200 more that I can take you through, but I just wanted to kind of show you, give you a quick and dirty preview of like why these things cost so much and why they're a real game changer. I mean, as I'm like talking to you and I'm looking at it, I mean, it's like, you know, I can go under qualifiers, this one button, and then all of a sudden the dynamic LCDs will give me everything about the qualifier. I can just hit this and now I'm in my windows and I can just create a new window. Whatever it is that I want to do, I can just do it right here. I can go under sizing, change the sizing information. I can go right here and I'm in my curves. Whichever curve I want to select, I can just hit hue versus sat, hue versus luminance, luma versus sat. Like all of this is just beautifully like laid out right here. I can go to main and now I'm right here. By the way, the main custom curves is always available right here. So anytime I just want to kind of just go in and make a few changes. So let's just say if I just go in here and I just want to do this and I want to grab these are just presets, 20, 40, 60. Okay. So these are just like presets that I can just go in and start modifying. And then I can do enable and disable. Just look at my changes, like what I'm really doing. But that right here lives right here. Right now it's coupled, but I can decouple it and I can just break this up and now I can go in my red channel. And then what do I want to do? I can just drop this down a little bit, you know, just to kind of create like a split toning effect. And I can go in my blue curve and I can go right here and pull that down and I can pull it down here too. So now I'm creating a really nice, like I said, split toning. I can take my 20, I can lift it up a little bit in the blue channel and we're going somewhere, right? And we're just having so much fun because this curves section always lives there, just like the sizing section always lives here. And these are super, super valuable because again, if I just want to actually make a change, if I'm sitting with a director like Fincher and he's like, hey man, punch in, you know, because he's got to reframe everything and I can just do that. That's available always right here. These are dynamic. These, for the most part, stay put. And that just... lots of thought once again went into it for them to give us exactly that we need on these to supercharge this entire experience. This is just scratching the surface. When I'm in my flow state, I am just like playing the piano on this thing. I'm just flying through, just blazing through my grades. And since I got this, I genuinely feel like every single project that I work on, I just exponentially get better. It's because the more I get familiar with this, the better I get with making art. Because I have so much extra time to focus on the stuff that really matters, and everything else, this thing behind me got me covered. Please do not forget to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. And while you're at it, pick up Qt Charts. I promise you, it is the best utility tool available for DaVinci Resolve. You can also just download the free version to try it out. And guys, on that note, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace, fam.